Hi there, Leo. Thank you for joining me for your weekly forecast for week commencing the 6th of July. To say there's a paradox in the heavens this week is something of an understatement. This is because Venus and Jupiter in your sign are continuing to combine magically, which is going to boost your sex appeal and potentially, with the right people, your popularity. But unfortunately, there's also a very political landscape that's going on alongside of this, which sees the Sun clash with Pluto in the first half of this week, and then in the second half of the week, it's Mars that's going face to face with the solar system's tiniest entity. Now, when the Sun and Pluto and Mars and Pluto are in conflict, it can create a lot of tension. This is going to be affecting all zodiac signs this week. And it's possible that something you really don't want to look at, and it could be about your love life, it may be about another relationship, however much you may wish it would go away, the issue, you could push it to one side, somehow or another, it could explode to the surface in a very corrosive way. The best way to deal with Pluto transits is to understand what Pluto is about. Pluto is about power, but it's also about change, truth, transformation. Sometimes, if we're very enlightened, we can see how Pluto is guiding us and use its energy to make changes in our own life. Yours is a fixed sign, however, and change doesn't always come easily to you. On the other hand, if we resist things or we're not conscious of the need for change, change can be forced upon us. And that could be the dilemma that comes up for you this week. So just be conscious of that. Also, Mercury is going to be moving out of the friendliest part of your scope on Thursday into the same area that the Sun and also Mars are occupying. There's also a quarter moon on Wednesday, which can see your emotions really take on a life force of their own. And something you would normally keep in proportion can quite easily really take on monster proportions. Keeping a sense of perspective is therefore going to be important this week. If things are going to come to the surface that in some way you feel uncomfortable about, especially if it exposes some of your vulnerabilities, that would be entirely understandable, because pride is a very big part of what makes a Leo tick. It's not just about being loved, it is about being respected. But at the same time, it could be you who wants to be much more open about something that's been kept as a secret. But either way, it could be quite a turbulent week. But if you can, or you're lucky enough to be in a situation where things are much more tranquil and serene, and you can spend some time, perhaps getting to know somebody new, for now you may want to do this on a rather confidential basis, perhaps even clandestine one. But by the end of this week, as Mercury starts to forge a link to Neptune, a piece of information that you get to know about can actually be quite intriguing, and that actually can help to guide your future moves once the Sun comes to enter your sign in some weeks' time. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Good luck, and goodbye for now.